Today we are going to talk about challenges of work and careers as an expat, connected with job seeking and career transitions. And I'm joined by Vera Vigh, who is an expat psychologist and a career coach. Welcome.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for the invite.
So I would like to dive immediately into this topic. But first, what inspired you to become an expat psychologist and a career coach?
I always knew that I wanted to work with people. And then, psychology track, seemed very logical. But I never thought that I'm going to leave my home country, Hungary. But it happened that I got to Amsterdam, and instead of 2 years, 5 years. And this is where I really experienced expat challenges, whether it's with career, loneliness, isolation, intercultural relationships, everything. So most of the things just come naturally based on personal experience, because there is a lot of psychologists out there, right? But it's a very different thing when you move away from your country and then you want to work with someone who really understands what you are going through. So this is how.
And what do you find most rewarding about your job?
That's a good question. Career coaching, and job seeking when a client, finds a job, it's really rewarding because it's super challenging. It just happened with me yesterday, actually, that my client has all, those difficult issues, like need a visa, had to navigate the cultural aspect of finding a job and needing interviews, but she made it. So, and often it's not just about circumstances. It's about the person is also changing within and not only the circumstances as an expat. So, I would say when they learn and grow in self-confidence and resilience, that's what I find most rewarding.
Yeah, when we move abroad, we really change as people because all the experiences we are going through, they have an impact on us. So, do you think that all these changes also affect or lead that people decide to change their dedication, their profession? Maybe they grow as people and they come to a new country, I don't know, as a teacher, but then they find out, no, I want to do art, anything.
Yeah.
Have you seen changes like this because they became an expat as a result?
I would say. Uh, so there are the group of people who move abroad for work. And the other one is just wanna live a different life, just seeking for something else. And then arrive to the new country and realize, oh, my old profession does not fit me. Or my old profession is not relevant in this country.
Mm.
And often people also come from, for example, burnout from their country. It was very stressful. They just wanna, run away. So I would say when you arrive to a new country, you're changing as a person, and with this one, you often also change your profession. Yeah.
And what are the main challenges that people face when they come to a new country and they are seeking for job?
The first one is maybe very obvious, but language. It depends which country, because for example, I lived in the Netherlands for 5 years and it was very easy to find a job in English. But now here in Valencia or Spain, this is one of the biggest challenge of expats. The other one is, for example, that your background in terms of university or your profession is simply not acknowledged in the country. So you're an engineer or a doctor or even a psychotherapist, and you cannot work because they do not accept your paper.
So this is one of the first things maybe people they should search for the information regarding this. If my diploma or my certificate or whatever I have will be accepted in the country.
Moving abroad, okay, when you are very young, maybe, just you go for Erasmus or something, it's fun. But later on, when you also have family and everything, you have to be more strategic about moving abroad. You have to do your research and have an idea like, okay, it's very nice, for example, to live in Spain, but what am I gonna do? And that this is where like potential career change can come in place, or starting your own business. Many people do that because that's the only way.
Do you have any information on how it works here in Spain? I heard it can take from 1 to 2 years to get your papers accepted
Or even,
for the profession. Even more.
yeah, with Spain, the biggest challenge, right, is that every province has their own regulations and also like the demand. So in the Barcelona, Valencia region, for example, for psychologists, I've heard, yeah, 2 years to 3 years. So you really have to think about it as an expat, whether this is the way to go, or you might want to focus on your own people back in your country. But if you're a doctor or an engineer, about it, maybe working for international companies, but this will be definitely a challenge.
What about the working hours? That would be a challenge for me. Most people, they start work like later than in my country, but they also finish work very late. So it's one of the things that maybe if someone has a family, they should think about it, not to be surprised at the end when they find out that they will leave job at 10 o'clock during the night.
That there is a break in between. There is the siesta. And
Yeah.
again, it's interesting because there are certain things about the Spanish culture which you will only figure out when you're already here. You can research it, but how the whole experience is gonna feel like, it's different. People are working in shifts. So your day will be a lot longer than it used to be. And also another thing is the local specifics of the culture when it comes to applying for work. For example, I got used to in the Netherlands or Western Europe and Northern Europe that everything is on the internet. Yeah, your LinkedIn is the number one source. But then here, for example, sometimes you just happen to meet the right person in a networking event or your neighbors. Many things is not on the internet. It's hidden. Opportunities are hidden. And relationship has a lot bigger impact than I would say even in my home country, but definitely in the Netherlands where I live.
You mean like whom you know?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, in Slovakia, this is also very important. Yeah. So, what does it take to find work? What are the options when someone comes to a new country? How should they start?
I always advise to do first a research, to approach it first strategically, not jumping in everything. Because finding work abroad can be a very emotionally exhausting process. And other things can come up as well. So I had clients who were actually struggling with burnout or even like already like signs of depression because the job search just took so long and put an emotional burden on the person. So first of all, to really research the local job market. The second thing is to
Before moving to the country,
already
no?
before moving
Or
to the
deciding which country to move to.
yes, yes, but it's not always an option. Sometimes families are coming and, for example, the husband got a job in a country,
Yeah.
but then the other person has to also figure out. So um, it's always a good idea to already research beforehand. And sometimes people have a dream. For example, I see many people here in Spain who just wants to live in Spain, but then work-wise, they know that it's not going to be easy. So they have to figure out later. So the first thing I would say to like research the local market. The second thing is networking, professional networking. So reaching out to people, maybe foreigners from your countries who's living in Spain or other countries, to understand what are the options really here. So to get an idea where they can work, but also sometimes to get referrals or introductions into international companies. And the third thing, which is very common, for example, here in Spain, is remote work. To search for remote work. And this is a whole different process. It's a very competitive market. There are many people who is applying from all over the world. But if you like Spain, it's also an option. And of course,
Yeah.
the fourth one is to start your own business.
Yeah. Do you also help with this? Building the
Uh,
confidence, building the new business?
business owners.
Yeah.
Yes, solo entrepreneurs, mainly.
What are some common misconceptions, or are there any expats have about working and living abroad?
So many. It's coming from two sides. The one is like the international themselves. They have a misconception before they move to a new country. And also their family and friends back home. So the number one is, oh, whoever works abroad is rich. So every opportunity abroad is better. There is that saying that the grass is greener on the other side. But that's not true. So what happens is, yeah, the international expat immigrant is arriving to the country. The first 2 months is like, oh, this is exactly what I want. It's so much better than at home. And also still have that confidence, like, I'm going to find a job, no problem. And so this is what I call the honeymoon phase. There is the reality. I wouldn't even say like, yeah, this is also the culture shock and stuff like that. But when you realize, yeah, well, in this new country, uh, things are different. Like my skills are not appreciated here. My communication style, for example, in work, it's different. I have to relearn the way I'm doing business, the way I'm working, even the way I'm seeking for jobs. And this is a very hard period. So many people, like, they not just experience frustration, but just want to give up, just want to move back. It's just like, this is too difficult. I do not want to do that. And
But
then,
this happens a lot, as I heard, that they give up. Yeah.
so many people, what I see, for example, here, that after 1 year, they are going back because it's too difficult to make it here, but also they've never been prepared for it. They are
Okay,
surprised.
so I stop you here. So, what is your suggestion in these situations?
First of all, to acknowledge it that this is what you're feeling is normal. Many people are at the same boat. And the second thing is to seek help. You have more options. You can also seek help with your, expat or international friends, or look for, communities within the city or the country. Or if you feel like it's like you really want to make abroad work for you, but you don't know how, then it's good to look for professional help.
What do you mean by this? What kind of professional?
I work with many people who in this situation, they just need to find a job because there is no option. Otherwise they cannot stay. But this is also emotionally very draining. So what I do, I have also my background in HR and recruitment and work psychology. So, for example, I'm on one hand supporting them to make a strategic plan how to approach job search. So it starts from very practical things as well, like CV optimization, LinkedIn presence, professional networking plan. and to build like a different career path if it's
So this is the
relevant.
part of your specialization as a coach. So you lead them on the way up.
And the other part of it that often other like aspects of life are coming up. For example, like stress, like increased anxiety. So I usually approach these things from more of an integrative coaching perspective, like looking at the whole person instead of only focusing on career change.
Okay. So regarding the stress, for example, because this can be very stressful, can you mention some techniques or tools people can use? What would you recommend?
It's very cliche, but to prioritize your mental health. For example, to have your basic needs met. And what I mean by here, like good sleep, sleep hygiene. To start your day, not already like jumping in the computer and start to searching for jobs. But for example, it's beautiful here in Spain to go for a walk, to start your day very slowly, to think it through what you really want to get out of the day. Like, for example, what I do is I get my notebook and I put down the three most important things, the highest impactful things I want to get it done by the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you start jumping in, searching, applying, writing your CV, you get so easily stressed and yeah, it's just emotionally gonna be very overwhelming. And you will gonna feel like you are in a vicious cycle. But the other thing as well is don't try it to do it alone. It's a very lonely place to be at. Because, so what I hear, for example, that many expats have this feeling that, oh, I moved abroad. I took this step and my family or friends back home, they think that I am successful, I'm living my dream, but I am struggling here. And they cannot really help. So cannot really talk about these challenges with them. You can talk about it.
Also, expat groups or expats who
Exactly.
are in the same situation as you are, because you share the same problems, the same challenges, and you can support each other.
There are such a good communities here. For example, just in Valencia, that the girls in Valencia or in, I think every major city there is like the Girls Gone International community,
Yeah.
especially for
So
women.
not to stay on your own, not to stay alone, but join the community, whether it's the locals or the expats. But I think expats is better because they know more about your situation. And when you join the community, you can not only find new friends, but maybe someone will give you some useful information regarding job seeking.
Use you, or you get a tip
Yeah.
like, oh, this company is hiring, or how to approach remote work to also like all of like hidden potentials there. And with stress, the worst thing you can do is to stay home isolated and work harder and harder and harder because it's like it's gonna pull you down. Yeah.
So Vera, where can people find you? And do you also work online?
Yeah. So anyone can find me on LinkedIn. Yeah, my name is Vera Vigh, so just use my name. On Instagram, it's Vera Vigh Coaching. Very creative, I know. And I also have a website. The URL is also Vera Vigh. I just kept it very simple.
No, I think it's the best way, to be
Yeah.
recognized.
Yeah, and I work with personalized one-on-one and group coaching workshops or individual coaching here in Valencia, but actually mainly online. So most of my clients this comes from like everywhere, from Brazil to India, Hungary. Um, and in terms of job seeking and career transition, I'm also have like coaching programs, which is covering like, CV optimization, LinkedIn optimization, Also like building a digital presence online in LinkedIn to unlock professional networking and personal branding, which is super useful especially when you're looking for a job remotely. And the other things I'm doing is to helping expats who wants to transition in their careers to find together the career paths they can walk down to. Um, yes, and most importantly, to build a strategic roadmap of job search
Hmm.
to make it actionable and use accountability coaching in that. So they would not give up when, like change does not come immediately. Yeah.
Great. So, if you are an expat and you are navigating work and career transitions or any challenges connected with this field, uh, reach out to Vera and she will be very happy to help you. And if you liked this video, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.